Hey everybody, today we're looking at extremely basic keying in After Effects. Just because I know that a lot of people want to do motion graphics, you want to do titles, and this is a ground level foundation skill that everyone needs to know for any kind of animation in After Effects. Even simple editing, like you really need to know how to do this. So this is our asset right here. This is just a photo. And I'm going to use the word asset a lot just because it's easier. So an asset is just anything that you're trying to put in your project. It can be 3D, it can be 2D, it can be a video clip, whatever. So for now, this dog is our asset. So let's say you want this dog to run across the screen. So you'll start here, right? Be like, okay, I want it to be there, and then I want it to be there. But as you'll scroll, you'll see nothing's really happening. And this is because you're not making any keyframes. And what a keyframe is basically you save information about some aspect of your asset at a certain time. So we're dealing with moving it across the screen, right? So we're going to be wanting to mess with the position asset because this has to do with its position in our canvas. So to keyframe it, you're going to want to start keyframing by clicking this little ticker stopwatch. This basically says, yes, I want to start, manipulating this on the timeline. And just be very careful that you don't confuse this for the keyframe button. This little stopwatch, it's not the keyframe button. When you click it the first time, it will set your first keyframe, as you see here with this little blue diamond. But if you click it to try and keyframe stuff, you'll get some adverse effects. We can go into that a little bit later. So basically, now that you've initiated this, you're telling the program, okay, I want to start storing data values as they change over time. So now you're going to change your time value, and then you're going to change your position value. And also, just a quick tip, if you want it to go in a straight line in After Effects, just hold down Shift, and it'll kind of snap. All right, perfect. So now if we play it back, boom, moves from point A to point B. Great. Totally realistic dog run. So, this is why you don't want to confuse this button with the keyframe button. See, this is where I've been setting my keyframes. You can set as many as you want. After Effects actually auto keys stuff for you, which is great. So you don't have to go over here and click every time. But let's say I wanted to, you can click here, set a new keyframe. It's especially useful if you're doing holds. Like if I decided, I don't want this dog to move from this position for a while. I click here, store this information at this time again, and then move him again. So we know that we want him to kind of like stop there for a while. But anyway, if you click this again, it will undo all your keyframes because this is not a keyframe button. This is toggling saying, yes, I want a keyframe or no, I don't. And no, it's no reason to super freak out. You can just undo it with a simple Control or Command Z, depending on if you're using Windows or Mac. But it's just a really annoying mistake to keep making if you're trying to like keyframe something and it keeps deleting them. You're like, oh no. So yeah, that is the basics of keyframing. And you can apply it to any type of thing you want. Like After Effects is great. It lets you keyframe everything. Like if I wanted this dog to like turn into a ghost dog halfway through when it does this weird like loop-de-loop, I could keyframe the opacity here, say it's 100%, say I want him to totally disappear by the end of the video. I can type in this value to 0 and boom, dog vanishes. So it's a really handy tool and it's really great to know how to use. I really recommend, just playing around with it, familiarizing yourself with it, and just sort of checking out what you can do with keyframing different aspects, like scale or like rotation, and then seeing like, okay, what if I make him really fat and then spin him around in a circle, just sort of playing with what you can do. And the other thing about, paying attention to these keyframes in After Effects is that this isn't just how you do it in After Effects. This is pretty much an Adobe standard. So let's say I want to go over to Premiere and I also want, to move my dog around in the screen. I want him to go like from here to like the bottom. You'll see that there's something very familiar over here where you've got your timeline and you've got your keyframes, you've got your little stopwatch. If you go to Effect Controls, once you've selected your little asset down here in Premiere, it'll pull up this where you can start to keyframe stuff, and now I've made my dog go from the middle of the screen down into the void of blackness. So it's a very useful tool to know. You really kind of need to know it if you're going to be animating anything, moving anything around, and it's really useful. So I recommend checking it out, playing around, and that's the super basics. So thanks for tagging along with me for that.